Hello, guys. I wanted to talk with you today about some of the recent information coming out about Facebook using Facebook is or Meta, as it's now known, the parent company, has been using has hired a public relations firm known as Targeted Media, who describe themselves. They Targeted Media is based in Arlington, Virginia, and they describe themselves as a right of center. They say that they bring a right of center perspective to solve marketing challenges. So, why is that significant? Well, what they've used they hired these guys to target and disparage and malign TikTok. So Facebook is using this. Facebook has hired Targeted Media, who has most recently, as the 2020 presidential campaign, received over $200 million from Trump super PAC. So this is a well-known firm, I guess, within Republican circles, and Facebook is using them to, I suppose, send a right wing message out that is supposed to help them, because Cold War, because with the current sentiment towards China and Chinese people and public sentiment towards China amid the pandemic has never been lower, and it makes sense to target TikTok in this way. And make no mistake, Facebook is desperate. So they're still very powerful, but they're not winning over children. They're not winning over teenagers. They're not supposed to technically be targeting kids anyway. But fascinatingly enough, TikTok is winning over teens and apparently children too. They're saying that Facebook saying that it's bad. Not only is it bad that TikTok is targeting kids, but of course that's gone on Facebook too. But with TikTok, I read a report that said that as many as a third of kids between the age of 5 and 12 are using TikTok, something like a third. So even though it's an age 13 plus website or app, I don't know what I guess it's an app. So even though it gets a third of. They're getting a huge chunk of people in the earliest stages of grade school, and even before grade school. I also 15% of children between the ages of 3 and 4 are using TikTok, and think about that, and of course it all just adds up again at the end of the day, because I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and I don't have kids, but I've seen that what it's like, when kids these days, of course every generation does this, but for some reason, but when kids can't be at the dinner table or out at a restaurant without making a scene unless they have their smartphone. It was one thing when we had a variety of toys, even different types of electronic toys, but now it's only one toy, the smartphone, and apparently it's only one app. It's TikTok that's getting so popular. Don't get me wrong, kids love YouTube too, but when it comes to social media as in not getting sent stuff from well-known subscribed channels on YouTube, but actually a community of people, children are instead flocking towards a TikTok community versus a Facebook community. And there's nothing wrong with an American company coming along and sweeping up American users and even global users, as far as I'm concerned. I would rather trust a company like that under American hands who has to answer to an American justice system rather than anything else. I mean, right now we're talking about a third of our youth are hooked on a app that is controlled by the communist Chinese government. I mean, essentially, they say that. I mean, Tencent, or ByteDance, I don't know what it is. I guess ByteDance, is this company that owns TikTok, and I don't know a lot of. I really don't know that much about TikTok as a platform. I mean, I've never used it, but I've seen multiple children using it, and even though it's an app that targets people above the age of 13 and up, they are winning. They are somehow how are they, like, it makes no sense. How can they unintentionally be winning the war for children, the war for children's minds and children's viewing experiences and their screen time? How can they unintentionally be winning? It makes no sense. It has to be built into their strategy. And of course, we have no idea what's going on over there. So I guess what I'm saying is, does it make sense why Facebook is doing it? Yes. Do I support Facebook doing it in this case? Yes. Normally, I would laugh at the fact that Facebook is acting desperate and foolish, and this story breaking out over emails between the CEO and, honestly, I don't know who. I mean, my computer died before I could get to the end of this, but how? I mean, it makes sense that they're doing this, and Facebook feels threatened. And normally, I would kind of laugh at that because I'm not a big fan of Facebook since they banned the President Trump anyway. I really have been disapproving of Facebook and really disappointed in them as a company who used to claim to believe in free speech, but then doesn't give it to our president. So I got a lot of negative things to say about Facebook. I mean, honestly, they should be facing antitrust lawsuit anyway. But do I support an American company's social media presence over a Chinese company's social media presence? Of course. It's infinitely worse that this TikTok is coming along and winning over the kids. I mean, if no kids should be on social media at that age, but if not only are kids on social media, but they're on that social media and at rates that are dramatically higher than Facebook, and frankly, Facebook probably has to just account to. I mean, they have to account to our Congress, our government, and they're regularly dragged in front of Congress, and rightfully so. But we have no way to hold TikTok accountable. And meanwhile, TikTok is winning over our youngest audiences, and it's been proven by Americans who work for TikTok in America. Which, by the way, what kind of American are you for working for a company like that? I mean, I get it. We all have to make a living, but come on. I mean, you're selling your soul here. How can you work for a company like TikTok? I mean, how can you use TikTok yet alone work for them? I don't get it. And how do you let your kids use it? I don't understand. I don't have kids, but I sure wouldn't want the communists telling my kids how to think, and they do. TikTok claims that they don't take direct orders from the CCP, but the people who are in charge and who make these decisions are unnamed people within China who are not part of. It's unclear if they're. I don't know for sure if they're part of. I mean, they must be part of TikTok as a company, but of course, China has the Chinese party has final authority over anything that TikTok does, which is why it's very interesting how they can balance that between Americans and an American audience and a world audience and a Chinese audience. So it's unclear. There's so much I don't understand about TikTok. I mean, you could, but I'll tell you one thing: I don't trust the Chinese. I don't trust them as a government, and you know, you should. I can't say that the Chinese are bad as people, but any government, but when it's like being in the Matrix. Like, if you know that those people are, I mean, they may be people, but they are consumed by the Matrix. They are active agents. They're unwitting agents of the Matrix, just like every Chinese person who lives and operates and pays taxes within China is an unwitting agent of the Chinese Communist Party. They may be decent, good people at heart, but they are unwittingly part of that system, paying taxes to that system, living in that system, giving that system credibility. Not to say that they have any choice, but they're not. But the average Chinese person, even though innocent, does not have an American interest at heart. And why should they? And why should we have the other? You know, there's no reason for them to. But we still need to understand that. So it makes sense why they're doing this, and it makes sense why they use why Facebook or Meta is doing this, and why they're using this targeted victory PR site or this PR company, and we're able to. And it's unclear if it's been effective yet, but it's already blowing up in the news. And although it makes Facebook look silly and kind of foolish, it's unclear what they're actually. It's unclear what it's actually going to do, because well, the people who, it seems like they're targeting the parents and trying to see if the parents can step in and do something, because Facebook, at the end of the day, when they're desperate enough, they're going to grab onto whatever message they can get to. I mean, if they have to hit TikTok with a right wing angle, you know, if they have to be like, oh well, this is a foreign company coming in and influencing Americans. I mean, by all means, do it, because I would hate to see Facebook fall if it means that TikTok rises. I hate TikTok. I mean, I despise Facebook and what they stand for at this point in date. I used to love them. I used to be a Facebook active user, but I would certainly prefer Facebook to TikTok. I'll take the devil I know rather than the devil who works for the communists. All right. Anyway, thank you guys.